Greetings YouTube and welcome back to my channel. It was another rough night here on Orkney. Rain, wind, everything happening, but it's nice now, the sun is out. Even the bike is dry. And I'm going to go to Skara Brae, which is a Neolithic settlement that's over 5,200 years old. And it's not far from where I am at the minute in Sandwick. Let's have it! It's practically unheard of for me to sleep in when camping, or any time really, but 9 o'clock I woke up today, and it means I'm rushing around to get the tent broken down. That building over there last night was my friend. There's a drying room in there, and it must be about 30 degrees, 35 degrees in there, and I spent the evening in there reading, keeping warm whilst charging up all the stuff that I need to keep this show on the road. All the GoPro batteries, my phone, laptop, etc. I'm doing so little miles on Orkney main island because it's all very compact that I'm barely getting a chance to even charge my phone up off the bike. So it's been quite an essential thing last night, keeping warm and getting charged up. I'm going to try and sort out some breakfast, which I may eat in the drying room once I've got the tent down. It is cold. Beautiful day though, bits of blue sky. Sea doesn't look too rough, but I'm probably going to put my boots on today because the forecast is for rain on and off, and I think it'll just keep the wind off and keep me warm. Anyway, get the tent broken down, get some food inside me, go and see something that is even older than I feel right now. So Skara Brae is on the agenda today. The good thing about it being so windy is the tent is dry each morning. Obviously if it was still raining it wouldn't be the case, but it rained a lot in the night. The tent's dry, and now it's time to pack it away. And there we go, virtually done. So I'm all packed away, the tent's down, and that drying room over there in the hostel was my friend yet again, because I sat and had some breakfast in there for a while, getting warm, getting my towels and things dry, and now I'm setting off for Skara Brae. Now, probably against my better judgment, I've decided to keep the all-in-one waterproof suit off because it's just a bit cumbersome. So I'll take my chances. If it rains, I'll just have to pull over. It doesn't take long to put it on. Now the thing, as I was saying about mainland Orkney, is it's not massive. So from here to Skara Brae, just 5 miles, barely time to get my phone back on charge again. So I'm going to check this out. It's known as the Pompeii of Orkney because it's so well preserved. There's a sewer system and cupboards and what have you. Obviously I'll go into more detail when I am there, but it's 5,205 years old, I think, something like that, which is a bit mind-boggling. After sleeping on the hard ground on a small self-inflating mat, that's about how old I feel this morning. I'm all aches and pains. I may at some point on this tour treat myself to a bed and breakfast or something. Another thing I'm finding quite hard is what I'd normally do on tour is I'd call in somewhere and get a hot breakfast and a coffee once I'd broken down the tent. See those rabbits running across? But there doesn't seem to be anywhere. It's all very remote, very basic and very beautiful. So perhaps a bed and breakfast at some point might work. When I'm on Shetland, I'm thinking I will probably, I've said this so many times, probably wild camp, I don't know. I'm always up for it until I think about a hot shower and the use of proper toilets and getting warm and all that kind of stuff. We'll see how we go. As usual, the rules are there are no rules. And there's the sunshine. Long may it continue. Plenty of wind turbines around here. They're obviously keen to harness the wind, which is plentiful. You see the waves crashing against the cliffs there. They're massive. Really is beautiful, very wild, very rugged, exactly the sort of place I like to be. Could murder a coffee though right now. A random double-decker bus. That says no entry, so that is not the way in to where I need to be. So there is another entrance round here. Skara Brae. On this sunny day it looks like it's tourist central. I can't complain about that because I am a tourist too. Adding to the numbers. They are my neighbours, that brown camper van from last night's campsite. One other person turned up. Or one other family rather, and it was them. Right, let's check it out. So 3,000 years before Christ, this is a reproduction of one of the houses. The actual house is a 5-minute walk down the coastal path.
Thank you.
Sleep then. So over there is the mansion, the house that we can also look round, which was lived in by the person who discovered Skara Brae, and Skara Brae only was discovered by accident when a storm uncovered it from the dunes. Was the central half, stone beds, which would have been filled with animal furs and possibly hay or straw or whatever, and there are dressers as well where things were stored, incredibly well preserved. That was quite mind-boggling. 3,000 years BC, and people think that they were there for a few hundred years, and nobody knows why the settlement stopped when it did. Maybe it was reclaimed by the sea in the dunes, because that's how it was uncovered in 1850 by a storm, blowing away all the dunes that were over the top of it. Right, I am planning to just kind of have a ride round the north of the island and down the east coast before finding myself something to eat and drink. I'd like to ride for a bit. The weather's nice, the roads are great, the sea looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'm heading to the infamously named village of Twat. Now, talking to the very nice chap Jimmy yesterday, who's local and a subscriber to the channel, he was saying the council had to remove the signs for the village because they kept getting stolen. There are still a few signs sort of leading into it. Anyway, I'm passing through on the way to the north of the island. Smell the hops from the Orkney brewery. Smells great. So I'm working my way up around the top of the mainland island Orkney. I would give for a nice little cafe, coffee shop, stop and have a warm drink and something to eat. There is a distinct lack though. I'm going to give this a go. In fact, put over here. The sign said coffee. I will therefore see if I can get myself one. I'll also get some petrol while I'm here, because Shetland may not have a plethora of petrol stations, I don't know. Right, I'd actually gone wrong. After I went through to I turned the wrong way, so this is quite convenient, as there is somewhere to get coffee. The Orkney Roastery sounds perfect to me. Happy days. Oh, perfect. Cheers. Oh, just look at those dark clouds behind me. I really hope that doesn't catch me up. Beautiful, beautiful roads. Rain is starting to spatter against my windscreen, so I think I'm going to put my rain suit on, sort out my electrics a little bit on the bike, and continue looking for the perfect lunch spot. To be honest, I think I've done pretty well to make it this far without having to put this thing on. I am quite far north after all. Apparently the forecast for Shetland in a couple of days isn't great, so this may be a constant feature. The sky is very dark ahead of me. The rain seems to have not come to anything at the moment, but I have no problem wearing this because it's going to keep me a bit warmer. The wind is so cold. Right, I have just gone to all the effort of wrapping myself up in all that stuff. I want the loo. Later. Evie Village. I almost camped here, but decided to camp where I did last night. That looks ominous. It's like the world ends there. I'm guessing it's just that my phone isn't happy with the amount of signal it's got. We'll soon find if we're going to ride off the end of the earth. No, we're not. It's obviously absolutely hammered down here. Everything is soaking. I seem to have missed it. Hopefully it will continue to be like that. I have got my eyes peeled for a little road that might take me down to the coast maybe, and then I will stop and have something to eat. It smells beautifully fresh now. So lovely. Well, I had kind of planned to visit the Broch of Gurness, and seeing as I'm passing it, I completely unplanned. I was going to look later on and see where it was. I think I might as well pay it a visit, and it may even provide me with a nice place to sit and have my lunch. This is the joy of touring with no plan. It just kind of works itself out, and so far it usually does work itself out. I've not really ever come a cropper without planning miles ahead. You know, I might look for accommodation the afternoon of the evening I want to sleep somewhere, or as is the case on this trip, I've been kind of working it out the night before. But I don't want to be too rigid. I don't want to be stuck to a schedule at all. I just want to ride. I love the fact that I have the roads to myself pretty much. I'm guessing maybe in the height of summer that may be different. And the road's going to run out. But it says it's run out already. And yet I ride on. Still on the right track. This is going to be my lunch spot. Hopefully the rain will stay away. It's absolutely beautiful. That looks like the coach that was at Skara Brae earlier. It's a small island. I think you follow everybody around. But I am going to sit on that bench and have my lunch. Absolutely perfect. This couldn't be a better place to eat my sandwich and have lunch. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'll go and check that out once I've eaten. I love that bike. It took a while, but I finally think that I've bonded with that bike enough for it to feel like the old GSA did, and I'd planned to put hundreds of thousands of miles on that one, hundreds and thousands of miles, and I'm racking them up already on this one, and all being well, fingers crossed nothing nasty happens, it'll be with me for years to come. But first, cheese and onion sandwich, prawn cocktail crisps, and a drink of orange juice, which is going to see me right until this evening. So I'm not reading from this, honest. I know all this stuff. So over there we have the island of Rousey. The island over there is, I don't know how to pronounce that, Enhallow Island, and this water is the Enhallow Sound. And the Brochs, there was one on Rousey, Broch of Gurness is there, were to defend the water, according to this information board, to defend the sound from raiders. So these Brochs were very, very important places, and apparently always related to the water and water rituals, etc. And apparently there were 7 Viking burials here. No evidence of Iron Age burials, although they believe bodies could have been buried at sea, which was another form of water ritual. Right, take a look. I've got my helmet on because it's the most effective rain hat. My gloves on because my hands are absolutely freezing. Let's have a look at the Broch of Gurness. So unlike Skara Brae, you can get up close and personal to these ones. This is a settlement, a dwelling that would have been built about 600 years after the Broch was built. Apparently up to about 200 people lived here. And these Brochs are only found in mainland Scotland, Orkney and Shetland. The one in Kirkwall in Shetland looks in particularly good condition. I may go and visit that in a few days' time. It just shows how changeable the weather is here. A second ago it was freezing and the rain was coming down, and now I can feel warmth from the sun and there's no wind either, or very little wind, so hopefully the audio won't be all wind noise this time. these were built to be very imposing and a show of power, and all the rocks had to be quarried and shaped. It would have been a huge investment of time and resources for these people. And now the sound looks absolutely beautiful with the sun on it. I love the fact you can actually get up close and personal to this. I always find it a bit frustrating places like Stonehenge where it's all barriered off and you can only see it from a distance. Much more immersive if you can get up amongst these ruins. I also find it a bit mind-boggling to think of people living their lives thousands and thousands of years ago. They must have been such hard lives. You know, creating tools from bone and stone by hand. It's just incredible. We have it so easy. You know, just pop to the store and buy something. Not the case. So this was a kiln for drying corn, or so it's believed. It's also believed the structure, which would have been much taller than this, would have had probably a thatched roof on it. So this is a tank that was used to store water. It would have been made watertight with local clay and often found next to a hearth, such as that one, which makes it believed that they were used for cooking, as well as just storing the water. Just like at Skara Brae, there's your central hearth, providing warmth, comfort. It's all just incredible. The amount of work. Once upon a time that would have been leading up to another floor, I imagine. Perhaps that would have been supporting the floor itself. So more than one level. As I came in through the entrance, it mentioned cells on the information board. I will go and check that out now. So, this cell here apparently was added later because there's a break in the stonework, and they think it's too small to house a sentry, so it probably was home to guard dogs. Very peaceful. I'm also very glad that the coach load of people were leaving just as I arrived. Get a much better sense of the place when it's not swarming with people. So this is a toilet. All mod cons. So this here is a grave, a Viking burial, and a woman's remains were found. She was buried between 850 and 950 AD, and bone analysis shows that she didn't come from Orkney. She actually came from England or Ireland. So this would have been the entrance, and you would pass through the Broch to enter the village. It just drives home to me how, despite all our own daily worries and hopes and dreams and strifes and all that stuff, how insignificant we all are in the grand scheme of things. This remains. The people here who lived their lives all those years ago, long gone. And then this was discovered by accident in the 20s. Somebody was sitting on a mound, I think to paint or something, and their stool disappeared into a hole. And the guy started to dig, was stopped by whatever authority it was, and then it was excavated to the standards of the day. And it will still be here long after you and I are gone, I'm sure. I thoroughly enjoyed looking around there, so I am now going to go back to the bike, continue riding around the island, make my way to Kirkwall, where I have a campsite for tonight, get the tent up, hopefully underneath a blue sky like that and not being rained on, and then probably get myself something to eat in Kirkwall, because it's quite a big town. There's bound to be some things available to me. I am loving Orkney. Can't wait to go on Shetland as well. I think that may seem even more remote. Cool, well, I'm in the right place. Looks like I'm going to be able to charge stuff up tonight in the lounge. And I'm just in here. Oh, this will do nicely. Right. It's dry. Time to get the tent up. I hate putting tents up in the wet and putting them down in the wet, but so far I've been lucky. Weather would stay that way. No camping tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is the overnight ferry, so my accommodation is taken care of, and then it will be one night camping on Shetland. And goodness knows what I'm in for then. And then it's another ferry back to Aberdeen, and then camping somewhere as I head south again. But anyway, that's a way off yet. Let's get the tent up, get myself sorted. So this campsite, even more of a bargain. £9.50 I think. Could be £10.50, I'm not sure. £10.50, yeah. Which compared to the £38 Aviemore in Scotland, complete bargain. Complete bargain. I've actually got a proper pitch rather than just being behind a maintenance shed. The thing is, you have to take what you can get. And it's not always going to be perfect, but I think this one will be perfect. Okay, the tent is up, so I thought it would be a good time to show you where I've been today. I started the day here at Brae. I made my way down to Skara Brae, then I worked my way up. I went through Twat, which no longer has any road signs, and then I worked my way round here to the Broch of Gurness. I really enjoyed that. I then came down here, and then I think what I did was went up this little road here down through Flintstown, and then eventually made my way to Kirkwall, where I'm now camping. I've got one more day on Orkney main island, and then I'm getting the ferry from here, Kirkwall, to Shetland tomorrow. Tomorrow I've got a bit more exploring to do, and I will feel like I've thoroughly explored the island. And I'm sure in the comments there'll be people who know it much better than me, which will say you should have gone to here and here and here, and I welcome that because it means I can come back and check it out again. Something else I want to check out at some point. The two BMWs that are over here. I've seen them going about the island, and they're absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I will try and get a better look shortly from Germany. My knowledge isn't that great, but R100S, something like that, I don't know. Anyway, I hope to have a chat with those guys and find out. But for now, I think it's time to end the video. I am sorted, sort of, and I'm going to get myself something to eat. I'll probably walk into Kirkwall and find somewhere where I can get a hot meal, and then I'm going to be charging up stuff and all the usual kind of malarkey to keep this show on the road. So I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you bright and breezy in the next one. Bye bye.